Oh, hi. No, I'm not a smoker. But maybe I should have been, statistically speaking. Why do I say that? Well, let's see. My mom and dad were smokers. My brother smokes. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, most of them smoked. And so, yeah, as a kid and you're growing up in that environment, most of the time they start smoking too, but I never did. Maybe I should start. Why not? Could become a new hobby. I don't know. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it was just a way of life back then. Everybody smoked. You couldn't even go into a restaurant without them asking, would you like smoking or non-smoking? It's just what we did. Everybody smoked, right? So I'm going through the college yearbook. And as I'm going through the pictures of the professors of Westminster College, it dawned on me that some of the coolest professors at Westminster smoked. Gail McCulloch, this lady, Susan Kotler. I mean, Dr. Susan Kotler. Oh my God, can you imagine? If I had called her Susan Kotler to her face and not Dr. Susan Kotler, she would have had me evaporated. And then there's this guy, Mark Jones. Mark Jones was the psychology professor at Westminster. And I remember my freshman year, I took Psychology 101 with Mark Jones. He comes into class on the first day, wearing his Wranglers, his cowboy boots, his tweed jacket with the patches on the elbows, right? And within 10 seconds of being in class, he lights a cigarette. He starts smoking throughout the entire class. And I thought he was the coolest man I had ever met in my entire life. He was fascinating to watch. He was fascinating to listen to. Okay, so my junior year, I get called into Ray Owenby's office. Dr. Ray Owenby. This guy. Ray Owenby was my academic advisor. So he calls me into his office and he has me sit down. He says, Sean, sit down. So I sit down and I think, am I in trouble? What's going on here? He says, Sean, you're in the middle of your junior year and you haven't declared a major yet. I was like, okay, yeah, so. He said, you need to declare a major. What do you want to major in? And I hadn't even given it much thought. I'd been there for a little over 2 years and I had no idea what I wanted to do or be when I went to Westminster College. And so because of Mark Jones, the psychology professor, I had taken every class that Mark offered. I had most of the classes that I took were psychology classes. So I said to Ray Owenby, I said, well, I'll just major in psychology because those are most of the classes that I've taken. He was like, okay, psychology it is. You're going to be a psychology major, Bachelor of Science. And I was like, okay, great. Anyway, guys. So many memories of Westminster College. So we're down to the last 3 names of my Westminster College friends. So I'm going to pull the remaining 3 names. And then stick around to the end of the video because I'll do some final thoughts. Okay? Okay. Roll the opening credits, please. Okay, next name. Next name is Steve Prasad. Steve, you are hands down the nicest guy I ever met at Westminster College for the entire 4 years that I was there. You were never in a bad mood. You always had good energy and light around you. Your aura was always calm, soothing. You were fun to be around. I can't talk about you without talking about Colleen, because the two of you met in college and you got married and you're still married to this day. Years later, when I was working for Pizza Hut, I would deliver pizzas to Colleen at the University of Utah Hospital. That was fun to get to see her. I ran into you at the Rainbow Casino where I worked a few years back. It was awesome to see you. You look exactly the same as you did when we were 18, 19, 20 years old. How come you never age, Steve Prasad? What's your secret? DM me on Facebook and let me know. Okay, next name. Next name is Stacy Lufkin. Stacy Lufkin, do you remember a guy named Mitchell Danson? Does that ring a bell to you? I know at some point, I think it was in your freshman year, you and Annette and Scooter and I think even Kevin McGlincy maybe and Chris Tucker. I think all of you moved into Mitchell Danson's house, or you all got a house together near Liberty Park. Is that who I'm thinking about? Is that the right person? Mitchell Danson? It's gonna bother me. I know who this is. Anyway, Stacy, you are a blonde puppy dog. When I think of you, I think of your boundless energy. You were literally like, you had so much enthusiasm. You were so excited to be at Westminster. You were so excited to take classes. You were so excited to have fun. You went on to, I think you majored in aviation, if memory serves. I have not seen you in 30-something years. I just remember every time I would see you on campus, you'd be like, I loved that about you, your energy, and you are extremely intelligent. Stacy, I think I might have been a little intimidated by how smart you were. I'll just throw that out there. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Stacy Lufkin, I was on my hike earlier today and thinking about all these videos that I've been doing about all my Westminster College friends. And you popped into my head. And the moment that happened, I thought of the word spunk. And I was like, that's a really good word to describe Stacy Lufkin. Stacy Lufkin has a lot of spunk. So I thought it would be fun to look that word up in the dictionary. Yes, the Webster's College Dictionary, so that we can get an accurate description of the word spunk. Okay, so this is the definition of the word spunk, according to this dictionary. Okay, it says, it's a noun. Number 1, pluck, spirit, and mettle. Not metal like meddling in someone's life, but mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E. So then I went to the word metal because I had no idea what that word means. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree, but I don't know what the word metal means. So I looked that word up. Okay, so here is the dictionary's definition of the word metal, M-E-T-T-L-E. Okay. It's also a noun. Definition number 1, courage and fortitude. Okay. Definition number 2, disposition or temperament. Okay. Definition number 3, ready to do one's best. And Stacy Lufkin, like I said earlier in this video, when I first met you, you were so excited to be a student at Westminster. And you had a lot of spunk. And I could tell, we could all tell that you really wanted to do your best. And I think that actually, that word metal, and spunk define you perfectly, because you are one of those people that strives to be the best person that you can be. And that is very, very admirable, very commendable. And so, yeah, Stacy Lufkin, you have a lot of spunk. So Stacy Lufkin, all this talk about having spunk, having metal, M-E-T-T-L-E, a word that I had no idea what it meant until just a couple minutes ago. We all need to have a little more spunk in our lives. You've just inspired me, Stacy Lufkin. You're not even here, and you've inspired me. I think we all need to have a little more drive in our life. So I'm going to go clean out my storage unit that I've been putting off for months, right after I finish doing these videos. Thank you, Stacy, for inspiring me. Bye. I'm so glad that we've reconnected on Facebook. One of these days, I'll come into Salt Lake and we'll have lunch and we'll talk. I would love to see you and hear about everything that's happened in your life in the last 30 plus years. Okay, next name is... Oh, it's the last name. Last name is Stephanie Young. Stephanie, you and I worked in the registrar's office together. Do you remember a guy named Mitchell Danson? Geeky kid? Wasn't there that long? He got fired. Yeah, Cheryl Phillips fired him because he was kind of ugly and he was not good with students, so she let him go. And then I heard a couple years later that Mitchell Danson got a job at the spaghetti factory as a dishwasher or something. He didn't last long there either because he just didn't get along with the other employees, so I heard he got fired. But anyway, sorry, Stephanie, I know this isn't about Mitchell Danson. This is about you. So you, when I think of Stephanie Young, I think of Mother Earth. You are so earthy, outdoorsy. I hope this doesn't offend you, but granola, that was a key word in the 80s, but in a good way, not in a weird way. You were so athletic, in shape. I'm sure you probably are to this day, and you were intelligent. You intimidated me a little bit because I just felt so dumb when I was around you. You were worldly. Yeah, you were only a couple years older than me, but you had this worldly presence about you. Like you knew all of the answers to life. And I looked up to you. I loved working with you because you grounded all the rest of us that were a little nuts, including me and even Mindy, just a little bit, and Barbara and Nancy, the drama. Yeah, all of my memories with you, Stephanie, are tied with the registrar's office because you and I didn't hang out outside of that. But I'm so glad that we've just recently, just in the last couple of weeks, we've reconnected on Facebook. And I'm glad to know that we're friends again, and I hope everything is going very well in your life. Okay, so you guys, oh wait, I forgot. I have one more name. This last name, it's funny. Can you see that? Michael Gibbs, aka Scooter. I think, Scooter, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to do a whole separate video just about you. That's right. I'm going to devote an entire video just to you and our story because I think it's a fascinating story. It's a funny story. And I want to devote a lot of time talking about you and me separately. So I will do a separate video about you, Scooter. I promise it'll be good. I don't want you to be freaking out and be like, oh my God, what is he going to say about me? Don't worry, it's not going to be anything bad. I've been planning this one out. Anyway, that's it, you guys. That's all the names. I don't know who Mitchell Danson is. This is going to bother me. If you can message me, let me know who Mitchell Danson is, or let me know more about his personality. If it's who I'm thinking of, he was just kind of a nerd. He didn't really have a lot of friends. He was not very popular. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had fun, and stay tuned for the scooter episode. Okay, bye-bye. Hey guys, so I started to record this about a minute ago, and as I was talking, a dove flew into my tree right outside my living room window, and he just sat there and stared at me. I wonder who it was. So this whole experience of making these videos of my Westminster friends, it's been kind of a trip. Most of you I haven't seen or talked to in over 30 years. But the decisions that I made, the memories that I share, and the relationships and the friendships that I formed during my 4 years at Westminster College are still impacting me to this day. You erase that 4 years of experience from my life, and I wouldn't be who I am today. My sophomore year in college, I went to go see the movie Stand By Me with Kevin and Scooter and Mitchell Danson. And I'm sure you've seen the movie, but Richard Dreyfuss, the actor, narrates throughout the whole film about these 4 12-year-old boys who go on a mission to find a dead body that was supposedly hit by a train. Anyway, the movie's based on a Stephen King novel. At the end of the movie, Richard Dreyfuss is sitting at his computer, and we see him typing. And in one of the very last scenes, he types out this sentence: "I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12." And I don't know why this popped into my head yesterday, but I thought, I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 20. Every one of you guys has a little piece in my heart. Thanks for watching these videos. I hope you had fun. And I'll be doing the scooter video, recording that in a day or two. So, thanks. Take care. I'll see you when I see you.
Stand by me, stand by